Hey guys. All right, I'm back. So, trial and error, you learn a lot. Um, Apparently, you can't screen share on Facebook Live and switch back and forth from your camera to the share. So, I'm using a different software here to be able to do that. So, sorry about that. Give me 1 minute while I get everything back online. And I wanted to take a minute since I was in the office. There's a couple of questions I've been getting, questions as well as some kind of feedback I've been getting from other realtors, actually, as well as some clients about OfferPad and Open Door and whatnot. So I wanted to make a quick video, and I'm kind of doing this on the fly, so bear with me here. Let me just share this with my page so that way people can see that I'm on here. And if this information is helpful to you guys, please share it. Comment below any questions you have while I'm doing this. It's really helpful for you to do that, and I really appreciate it. So basically, I wanted to look at OfferPad and Open Door. So this could really help people that are thinking of maybe selling in the near future, as well as other realtors in my network too, because I've heard a lot of concern about, as the industry is changing, there's always something different. It's important to actually break down what exactly is happening and then kind of go from there. So what I wanted to do, and this is kind of on the fly, so I'm going to do it as I'm chatting. So there's a lot of trial and error and I might screw it up, but bear with me. And what I want to do is just look at OfferPad and Open Door, just because you see those a lot. You see those names a lot lately. And there's a couple of other outfits like that. I just recently came across one called Knock. And I'm sure there's other ones. So, we're in the market where a lot of this is happening. So I wanted to see what exactly it is they're offering in real time and kind of explain the benefits and possibly the disadvantages of them based on what we're seeing. And I'm going to show you a screen share of my laptop. So I'm not pulling numbers from anywhere. I'm going to go straight to their website and show you and see how I work. Like, this is more importantly for you guys to see how I work, how I come to conclusions. And hopefully this video helps you guys, because I want you guys to be able to, take this information, share it with people that need it. And hopefully it helps you too. If you're another realtor or broker and you've been kind of not really digging into this as much, but you've been hearing things, maybe this could help you. And I hope it does. So, and while I'm doing this, guys, if you have any questions or comments or anything at all, just put them in the comments below. This software is really cool because I can actually pop the comments up. I can really interact with you, engage with you, and answer any questions at all. So as I'm doing it, just feel free to stop me, and I will stop in the middle of whatever I'm saying and try to get to your question right away. So let's see how this works here. Share. I'm going to try to share. Okay. And as I'm sharing this, and know if I'm sharing this and it makes sense to you, please share. Let's see here. Okay. So now I'm sharing my window here. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see this. Let's see. Let's do it this way. You don't need to see me as much right now. Okay, so if I go here and I go to let's go to OfferPad first. So you can see this here. All right, so this is OfferPad's website here. And I'm going to switch back and forth between what the screen share and not, so I can see your guys' comments if there are any, and so I can also share those as well. So all right, so here we are at OfferPad. If you guys aren't familiar, most of you guys probably are, but if you're not familiar, OfferPad and Open Door, these guys they'll buy your house from you, and there's a convenience there. But people often say, especially in the real estate industry, people are worried about, oh, this is really going to undercut our commissions. And, usually commission is a dirty word, and it just comes with some, weird connotations. So, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market in that sense. And I hope this video kind of helps you guys to understand that, you got to really break down what's going on, and it's a lot easier to manage when you do that. So here we are at OfferPad. I'll just take a look at them first. If you scroll through, you can see, pick your own closing date, no showings or open houses, free local move included. So there's a lot of benefits that they're offering here. If you just click through here, what I'm interested in understanding is their pricing, because a lot of people say, oh, their pricing is much more competitive. So if I go down here, okay, yeah, so like right here in the services, you can see there's a pricing button here. So, all right, here you go. This is what I wanted to see. So here, if you go to again, if you go to OfferPad's website, go all the way to the bottom, click pricing under their services, you can see this breakdown right now. And this is kind of what they're showing you. So let's kind of look at that. And then I'm sure other places like Open Door and stuff are doing similar things. So it'll be important to see that. So if you look at this right here, you can see OfferPad, is using a house sale example of $235,000. So on 235, their service fee is going to be $17,625. Okay, so I'm just writing this down so I can just quickly do some math and kind of break this down. So what they're saying is that's their service fee, and all right, and then it's important to read the fine print, guys. So let's see what this says. Our service fee is typically 7% and can vary depending on your specific property from 6 to 10%. Okay. So that right there gives you an average range that they're talking about, right? So it's important to understand that. The average range is from 6 to 7 to 10%. That can be pretty high, guys. So in this breakdown, just what they're showing you, before you even read anything else, they're giving you the service fee, seller concessions, which are 0, repairs requested by OfferPad to be determined, and overlap ownership costs. Okay, so, and then over here on the traditional offer, you're seeing 6% agent commissions, 2% seller concessions, and overlap ownership cost of 1%. Okay, so it's very important, guys, to understand what they're trying to tell you and show you here. A lot of times, you can really play with numbers and make things look a lot better than they are. So, and I'm not faulting them or anyone else, but it's important to understand what is exactly being shown. So right off the bat, service fee is $17,625 on this example. So if you divide that into the $235,000 house example, you're looking at a service, you're looking at a fee of 7.5%. Okay, guys, that's what OfferPad is saying. Now, typically in real estate, at least in the Phoenix market, and this is up, there's no set price, guys, but what happens is real estate commissions, broker commissions, are typically set by the market, but for the most part, it's about 6%. Okay, that's where they're getting this number here on the traditional side. You can see 6% agent commissions. Usually that's divvied 3 and 3 or something like that between the buyer and the seller agent, and seller is the one who's paying the commission. So for all the potential buyers out there, when you're worried about fees and whatnot, you're not paying the agent's commission. So a lot of times it's really important to consider hiring an agent to negotiate on your behalf, because their fee is not coming from you, it's coming from the seller. So that's another conversation you can have around it. But So like, let's see here. So they're saying the, 6% commission is 14,100. So that's pretty standard right there. You'll see that on on this example, that's pretty traditional for sure. Then you see a 2% seller commissions that they're accounting for. So guys, a 2%, like seller concessions are up for negotiations. Some people say, oh, it's a seller's market, so you don't have to pay those. Well, what I try to tell my clients and everyone else is it all depends. So it all depends on the situation. It depends on the deal itself. But what seller concession means is how much is the seller going to pay or agree to pay towards the buyer's closing costs and other expenses that come from closing on the deal. 2% is what they're assuming here, right? So that's the $4,700. Seller concessions, I've seen them all over the board. They're anywhere from 0 to, usually no more than 3%. I haven't seen much above that. And typically you don't need that much, but again, that's another conversation. But again, guys, if you have questions as I'm breaking this down, please ask it, and obviously share this with anyone that might find it interesting. Even if you think someone in your friends groups on your Facebook could find this interesting, just share this video as I'm talking, and maybe they could catch it. So I really appreciate that, because I'm trying to do these videos just to help everyone get more information out there, and more importantly, to see how, so people can see into how I break this stuff down, and I think it's important for people to see that. So, okay, guys, looking into this again, 2% seller concessions, right? $4,700. They're saying 0 there. Repairs requested by OfferPad. So obviously they're going to have some repair requests potentially depending on the condition of the house. And all that combined, you're going to net, it looks like $5,000 more if you go with OfferPad versus them. Now, this overlap ownership costs. The overlap ownership cost, I think what they're referring to there is if you end up having to stay on the market longer than what OfferPad is offering. So usually, pick your own closing date. That's one of the benefits of OfferPad and Open Door. That's honestly, guys, what they're selling you. They're selling you speed and convenience, okay? When you look at the fee breakdown, look, nothing in this fee breakdown really says anything when it comes to agent commissions, and especially if the service fee is between 7 to 10% on the OfferPad side, they're covering their co-brokes. They're covering their broker fees and whatnot, and some. So I'm not sure how this is necessarily something to be so alarmed about. This is not much different than, you've heard the term wholesaling, in real estate. I don't like using that term as much. That's just a personal thing, but like basically that's what wholesaling is, someone who wants to grab the property, make it a quick close for the person trying to sell. So that's the convenience they're selling, but they're going to offer a lot less than market. And, whether they have to touch it up themselves and then relist it or turn it into a rental, that's where the wholesaling margin comes from. So, the money goes from one hand to the other in some way or another. So it's very hard to kind of get around that. So, right here, you can see that it's just how they're breaking down the numbers. They make it look very, appealing just by breaking down the numbers in this way and saying, oh, look at all these different things you're paying for on the traditional side. But honestly, guys, if you just break down these numbers, and there's a huge what if with these repair requests by OfferPad, all these things can be structured in with your realtor depending on your strategy on how to sell the house. So none of that really should stick out to you as alarming, or OfferPad being, such a huge, significant, better deal than a traditional approach necessarily. What they are selling you guys is the quicker close, okay? So that is one thing that for sure, they'll close on your house very quickly. And, for some people that might make sense. that might be exactly what they're looking to do. So, I hope that kind of breaks it down for you. This overlap ownership cost, it's a very subjective number here, and this really boosts things in their favor, obviously, because they're trying to break this down in a way to show it appealing. So honestly, 2% seller concessions also is up for grabs. Concessions are monetary credits given by sellers to reduce costs paid by buyers. So they're assuming a 2%. Everything is up for negotiations in real estate, guys. So 2% is not an assumed number, but they're assuming it for this case to show you a projection. So that's very important to understand. And then here's the fine print here, guys. The above example is based on average seller experiences at OfferPad and is not representative of exact fees you would pay in either selling to OfferPad directly or listing your home traditionally. Closing costs are not included as they can vary significantly. An OfferPad homeowner consultant can help you understand closing costs in your area. So again, this is not including, closing costs. So they're telling you right here in the fine print, they're not assuming closing costs in this scenario that they're showing you on their end. So it really makes a difference when you actually break this stuff down, guys. So, there's OfferPad right there. And right now let me go to Open Door real quick. I'm sure. All right, here's Open Door, another place, they've got, lots of features with Bloomberg, Forbes that are really, creating a stir in the real estate market. And okay, so they have pricing right up front. So let's see here. All right, guys, if you have any questions at all while I'm doing this, put them in the comment section below and I'll answer them for you, or even give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying what you're seeing. Really helps out. I really appreciate it. So if you look at Open Door real quick, there you go. Left is Open Door, right is traditional home sale. 7 to 10% on the right. 7.7 is the average service fee. They're using a $200,000 house example. Right here, guys, I don't know if you can see my cursor. This is what they're selling you. Super fast closing, okay? So, you're paying for that in one way or another, and that's a value to some people. So some people may want to take this option. So I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but you should be aware of what you're actually doing. So, 7.7%, again, they're breaking it down in a similar way to make it look very appealing. Estimated real estate agent fee, 6%. Again, here they're assuming the seller concession at 2% and an overlap fee again for 1%. So they're pulling the same kind of numbers here, just to show you. And let's see here, their fine print right here, if you see, says March 2019 average Open Door service charge. Charges vary from each property and can range from 6 to 13%. So there you go, guys. That's really, really, honestly, that's really, really average to high, honestly, from what I've seen in the market. So I don't see this very alarming at all. A lot of times the offer they're going to give you, surprisingly may not be exactly market value. It might be a little lower because they want to get it sold quickly. There's a lot of ifs. 6 to 13%. That's nothing more competitive than a traditional approach outside of the quick turnaround. That's what you're paying for, the quick turnaround. So, I hope that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. And a lot of these assumptions they're making, 2% concession, 1% home ownership overlap, these are very subjective things to consider into a case study. And I just feel I don't know, it shouldn't intimidate realtors at all. I don't think, if they give good service, they break down these numbers for their clients. I think a lot of clients would find the traditional approach just as appealing, if not more, than these outfits like Open Door and Offerpad. Again, if time frame is a huge, huge issue, the traditional approach has ways of solving that problem as well. But Offerpad and Open Door make it very, very appealing for people. So that's it. That's basically the entire breakdown. If you have any questions about this, guys, even if you don't catch me live on this video, just put them in the comments section below, and I'll break down whatever you need me to and explain whatever else there is. But from what I can conclude here, guys, the sales are not that different. Like the sales numbers, like these percentages are not that different. Typical real estate fees are 6%, give or take, if not less. And seller concessions are always up for negotiations. That all depends on, your deal with the realtors and your negotiating. So it all comes down to that. So, hopefully this kind of helps you if you've been on the fence for potentially selling your home. Hopefully this gives you more clarification. There's a lot of assumptions that Open Door and OfferPad are making in their projections. They're not telling you in this breakdown what their actual offer to you is going to be. They're assuming 200,000. So that's my best guess, guys, is that's not the case. Like if the market value of your house is probably, like 220, then they're probably going to offer you 210. So that's just, that's going to be something less right off the top. And, that's just my guess, because that's how these businesses work. They have to create a margin, otherwise they don't make money. And if they're buying all these assets super quickly, they have to have a margin of error so they can unload these homes as quick as they're buying them. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. It works while things are on the up and up, and then a lot of these places will disappear on the downturn. So I have one question here. Hi, Mandy. Let's see. If someone went the traditional route using a realtor with cash, how fast could a closing occur? Okay, so that's a good question. If someone went the traditional route using a realtor with cash, how fast could a closing occur? So there's a lot of factors to that, but at the same time, what's interesting is you can move very quickly, and it depends on the realtor and their methodology. Cleaning up the house a little bit to show, getting photography done. If you line it up, you can be on the market for, within a week or two max. It just depends on the situation a little bit on when you can get onto the market. But, one piece of advice, if I could give all you guys, is try to consider getting your house on the market, whatever allows you to do that, whether you're using a traditional realtor or some other means. It's very, very important. If you want to maximize what you get out of the house, you have to get it on the market. And if you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you don't know what you could get offered. You don't know how many people, you're not exposing yourself to anyone who could potentially buy it. And when you don't do that, more times than not, you're leaving money on the table. So I would really, really urge people to not, this shouldn't be a selling point when someone says, I can get this thing sold before it hits the market. Unless speed is a huge, huge priority for you, you need to unload your house for some reason, or you have to get this sold ASAP. Understand, when you do that and you don't put it on the market, you might be leaving money on that table. How much money? That's anyone's guess, but guess what? That's kind of this model here with Open Door and the other one. What is the other one? OfferPad. You're paying generally more. Like right here, they even say it. Typical service charges 6 to 13%. So you might, in a lot of instances, pay more than the traditional approach. But why you're doing that is for the convenience and the speed. So if that's a value to you, then great. This is the option to go with, because it'll get it sold. But if you can structure the deal correctly, and you can work with a realtor or work with a good advisor, they can get your house on the market, and they can get you an offer sooner the better, obviously, but just as quick as typical results with these guys. So the OfferPad, if you're trying to sell it right away within 30 days, like you need it gone, then yeah, this might be the option for you. But otherwise, I would really consider the other value you'll get for selling your house the traditional way. So in that sense, I feel like there's a lot of value I can offer as an agent to my clients. And, these kind of services have their niche, but if you do your job right, you could still win the business. It should be very easy to do so. So hopefully that kind of helped you guys understand what's happening with OfferPad and all these other places. And if you found this video helpful, please share it. And I really appreciate when you share my stuff and like it. It really helps out. And if you have questions, even if I'm not live, you can still comment in the section below. And by doing so, I can respond to you as soon as I see those comments come through. So thanks, guys. Hopefully this video was helpful, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.